I know I'm a little bit biased because I travel to Mid-Shenandoah for VAF, but I really do think that this is one of the best socials we put on. So thanks to Rick and Lori and Paul Archer from Blue Ridge Beverage, who provides all the alcohol for the event. So thanks very much to you guys. All right. So as most of you know, Dirk Katstra, the executive director of VAF, is usually the one who puts on this show. But he is traveling with our men's tennis team in the NCAA championship. So you guys already know how this story ends, but I'll tell you anyway. So it's no secret in my office that I do not love to public speak. And Dirk has been giving me some grief about the fact that he knew that I was going to have to do this if men's tennis was playing in the national championship. So yesterday, Marilyn Coates from our event staff sends out the list of RSVPs to the Staunton Social. And I don't know if you guys know, but this is a record crowd. It is a record crowd. I love it. So not too long after Marilyn sends the email that says, "Record crowd, we expect many walk-ups," my phone rings and it's Dirk. And I said, "Hey, Dirk." And he said, "Hey, Case, how's it going?" And I said, "You know, it's going fine." And he goes, "Did you see how many people are coming to Staunton?" And I said, yes, I did, as a matter of fact. And I think you could hear my heart beating through the phone. So this is yesterday, before they were going to the semifinal match. And he said, "Well, you know what? If they lose tonight, I'll be back, and you're off the hook." So I took a deep breath, and I said, "I tell you what, Dirk, I will suck up my fear of public speaking and do the Staunton Social if you promise me a national championship for men's tennis." And he delivered, so I have to follow up on my end of this. All right, so tonight you'll get to hear from Mike London, our head football coach, obviously, Steve Fairchild, our offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. I know that's of interest to some of you guys in the room. And Malcolm Brogdon, a fabulous student athlete, a men's basketball player. But before we get to that, I want to make sure that I take a minute and thank you guys for all you do for us at Virginia Athletics. I know that everyone in this room puts many, many, many miles on their cars and spends many hours driving back and forth over the mountain to watch the Who's play in Charlottesville. You travel to see them play on the road, you follow them online, you put Virginia bumper stickers on your car, which isn't always the easiest thing over here in Hokie territory. So we really, really, really appreciate that. And I want to say a special thank you to the VAF members in the crowd. I know many of you are VAF members. VAF members? And the kind of success that we have at Virginia Athletics does not happen without your financial support. Thanks to you, we can boast a fully funded athletics department, meaning that all 316.6 of our student athlete scholarships are fully funded. And I think it's easy to lose sight of just how difficult it is to win a national championship in men's tennis, to win an ACC championship in women's soccer. Our women's and men's swimming and diving programs have won their 6th consecutive ACC tournament this year. And that kind of stuff is really difficult to accomplish, and it doesn't happen without your financial support. So thank you for that. A quick update on this year's annual fund. Our goal is $14.9 million. So we're tracking a little bit ahead of where we were last year at about 12.2, but we still have a long way to go. So for those of you who've made a gift already this year, thank you very much. I want to draw special attention to our I Give 110% challenge. This challenge, we asked everybody who contributed last year to consider increasing their gift 10% this year. And so far, 45% of our donor base has taken us up on that. So thank you very much for that. If you're not currently a VAF member and you'd like to become one, we have pledge cards here tonight. But also, like I said, my name's Casey Steffen, and I travel in the Mid-Shenandoah Valley for VAF. So please give me a call. If you have questions about what your money does, how it affects student-athlete well-being, give me a call. I'll come talk to you, and we'll talk about it. So anyway, now I get to invite to the stage Malcolm Brogdon. For those of you who don't know, Malcolm is a redshirt sophomore on our men's basketball team from Atlanta, Georgia. So we're going to do this a little bit differently than we've done in the past. We're going to do a little Q&A format, and then we'll open it up so you guys can ask some questions of Malcolm as well. So to start it off, we'll ask the most important question. How's the foot?
The foot is doing very well. I'm basically back to 100%. I'm sorry, first time doing this, but the foot's basically back to 100%, and I'll be ready to play next season. So.
So on the way over, Malcolm, you and I were talking a little bit about your recruiting process. And you said that Tony came in sort of late in the game. I think you said about a month before recruiting actually closed. So tell us a little bit about that experience and why you chose Virginia.
It was I was actually shocked that I got offered by Virginia. It was one of the later tournaments during my AAU season. Basically one of the last opportunities the coaches got to come watch me play. And Coach McKay, the assistant coach, actually saw me first, and then he told Coach Bennett to come look at me. Because when they came to my game, they actually didn't come to watch me. They came to watch someone else, and they saw me. And they liked me, they offered me, and then I basically had to narrow my choices down between Vanderbilt and Virginia. And I knew that both of them were great academic schools, and then it came down to which coach I thought was just forthcoming and honest with me, and I could really trust in my 4 years here, and so I picked Coach Bennett in Virginia.
So tell us a little bit about the redshirt year, the year you had to sit out. What did you learn from that experience? How difficult was it to watch a team go on and beat Duke and not be able to be on the floor? Tell us a little bit about that.
First, I want to say I was really happy for my team to beat Duke. That's not really an accomplishment that any school does often. But the red shirt in general was very humbling. Getting injured, you never think you'll get to this point in your career and have to sit out a full year. And it opened my eyes up in terms of how I thought about basketball, but how I thought about life. And things happen, but I realized that you have to sort of persevere through anyways and keep working regardless. So, thank you.
So the extra year of eligibility doesn't hurt you that much because you're going to use your 5th year to do what?
I actually recently got accepted to the Batten School for Public Policy and Leadership. And in that school, they offer a 3-year program to get your degree and your master's. So I'm going to try to get my degree after next year or after my 4th year, and then get my master's too on my 5th year. So.
Love it, love it, love it. All right, so now we'll open it up to you guys. Does anyone have a question for Malcolm? Somebody's got to have a question.
I've got one.
Dylan.
What is your exact height?
My exact height, I'm 6'5" with shoes on and 6'4" without.
Anybody else have a question for Malcolm? Yes.
I noticed by the 2 schools you picked, Virginia and Vanderbilt, both are exceptionally good schools. So you were thinking more than basketball, weren't you?
Yeah.
Sure. Give me through your head.
He asked, between my top 2 choices, Vanderbilt and Virginia, I was definitely picking more than just basketball, referring to academics. Yes, I was. I had singled down my choices between Vanderbilt, Virginia, and Harvard. My family really pushes me to go to an excellent academic school, and because I know there's life after basketball, and you have to do something else. So Virginia was a perfect choice for me.
All right, is that it for Malcolm? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so the next man that I'm about to introduce really needs no introduction. I'd like to welcome to the stage head football coach, Mike London.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for what an awesome crowd. I mean, what an awesome sight out here to see all the orange and blue. I'm going to take some time here. Steve Fairchild, my offensive coordinator, is here, and quarterback's coach. I'm going to take some time to talk to you guys about where the program is and where we're going and the things that have been changing. Obviously, the biggest hurdle was getting over this mountain to make sure I wouldn't stop on the other side over there. So got through with that okay. This past season was a difficult season, one that required change. And tough decisions had to be made. And they were personal, tough decisions. But being responsible for the program, I'm responsible for making those decisions and moving the program forward. And in moving the program forward, one of the things that, in talking to the athletic administration about the coaching staff and the type of men that our players would be surrounded by, it's an awesome, outstanding coaching staff. I think it's one of the best staffs in college football today. As you know, Tom O'Brien, former head coach at Boston College and at NC State. I coached with Coach O'Brien when he left Virginia and went to Boston. That was my first BCS job, was with him. But to have a head coach with his experience, the things that he's done over the years, and being a Virginia man, it's been truly outstanding and awesome. Now, Coach O'Brien is not a very energetic, passionate guy, all right? He's got that Semper Fi in him, let me tell you. And just give you a story, at Boston College, we had Tim Hasselbeck and Matt Hasselbeck. They were quarterbacks, great quarterbacks. And we were playing and we were beating Notre Dame. And Obi was sitting on the sideline with his arms crossed. And it was like 3 seconds left or something like that. And our offense was getting ready to take a knee. And he made the quarterback switch, and Tim Hasselbeck was going to go in the game. So before Tim went in the game, he ran up and he smacked Obi on the butt. He said, "Lighten up, coach. We won this freaking game." I'll just say that right there. I'm going to say what he said. And Obi kind of looked to his left and looked to his right and said, and got back to being real. That was about as much excitement that I've ever seen Coach O'Brien have anywhere, anytime. But again, you can't dissuade the passion and the things that Coach O'Brien has done in his college coaching career, and to have him back in Virginia is really outstanding. John Tenuta, our defensive coordinator. Half of John's coaching career has been as a defensive coordinator. Notre Dame, Georgia Tech, places at Ohio State, places where he's had a significant opportunity to change programs. John is an outstanding coach, outstanding coach. Tonight, Steve Fairchild, who is our offensive coordinator. Steve was with Norv Turner before Coach Turner was let go, but Steve was on the staff at San Diego. Steve has been an offensive coordinator in the NFL, 2 different programs. I believe Buffalo and St. Louis. Steve's also been a former head coach. And so the thing has occurred with this staff is the leadership and the accomplishments that these men have had in their coaching careers, and it's truly outstanding. Steve has coached some of the best quarterbacks in the NFL and in college, and he'll have an opportunity to talk to you about that. And then Larry Lewis. Larry Lewis is our special teams coordinator. And before I go further about that, we all have to take account into what we do and the performance that we have on the field. I'm very aware of that. Everyone knows that Anthony Poindexter was our special teams coach. But I'll tell you what type of man Anthony Poindexter is. He is a great Virginia man, and he's a great young man that says, "Coach, whatever the school needs, whatever we need to be successful, I'll do it." For Anthony to take a step back and say, "Anthony, I'm going to have to hire a special teams coordinator. Coach, do whatever you have to do. I love this school." And so I know sometimes, we get judged for our wins and losses and things like that, but at the same time, Anthony's one of the best recruiters on the staff, and he's definitely orange and blue all the way through. So I had an opportunity to hire a young guy named Jeff Banks. He was the first special teams, the first coach after the coaching change that came in. And the day that he moved his furniture into his house, Kevin Summerlin from Texas A&M called and said, "Jeff, I want to make you assistant head coach." They had coached together. He's from Texas. And he called me up and says, "Coach, I got to go." Now, that's unfortunate, but the guy that taught Jeff the special teams and things that he knew and that he'd learned was at Nevada, and that's Larry Lewis. Coach Steve Alt, who longtime career at Nevada, had just retired. And Larry was available. So I lost the pupil, but I gained the teacher on that situation. So what I'm saying is the coaches that were hired or men of great accomplishment, they're great men, great people. And the last one was Marcus Hagens, affectionately known as Biscuit. He was a graduate assistant and is now a full-time wide receiver coach. Now Marcus got married since he's been on staff, and he's had his first child. And he named his son Christopher Dex Hagens. Christopher after Chris Long, Dex after Anthony Poindexter. So you never can, I mean, the power of persuasion or influence with these guys that are growing up and know the program is outstanding. It's truly outstanding. And now everywhere I go, I get in trouble because I see the cameras that are flashing and everything like that, but I used to date Marcus's mother in high school. And it was close to being named Christopher Dex London, but that didn't happen. So, but Marcus is a great young coach, and you know what? All coaches who've been coaching for a while stand on the shoulders of somebody else and said, "Let me give you a hand," because I think Marcus will be an outstanding young college football coach. And so the coaches, the facility. I know some of you in this room had an opportunity to, whether you saw the new indoor, the George Welsh indoor facility, or even donated to its cause, and for that I appreciate that. Hopefully I sent you a personal note telling you I appreciate what you did. But it's one of the best indoor facilities in college football today. One of the best. And that's outstanding. In fact, one of the recruits that we have that's one of the best in the country stepped in it and said, "I'm going to go get the rest of the guys that are best, or the best in the state, because I see the commitment that Virginia is making." So with the coaches, with the facility, and now with the schedule. Chicago Bears, Washington Red, no, excuse me, wait a minute. Obviously, the schedule is very, very challenging, very challenging. And our players love it. Our players love it because anytime that you have an opportunity to play some of the teams that are out there that have played well, have done well in college football, you want to have those opportunities. And for 8 home games at Scott Stadium, we'll have those opportunities. And that's also another opportunity for the best recruits in the country to say, what is Virginia doing? I see the staff. I see the commitment to the facilities. I see who you want to play. I'm coming. So I think that's important in the overall picture of what's going on with the program. Progress. And it's exciting just to see the different things that are happening. Now, along with that, some guys have decided to go their separate way. And some of them I have told them, it's time for you to move on. Because I will not compromise the academic integrity at this university. If you can't go to class and you can't turn your work in, and it's not your own work, you're not going to be here. And players have to understand that. And we're not done doing that. I've had young men that have looked at the competition coming in and on the team and say, you know what, I think my chances are better somewhere else. Well, see you later, good luck, enjoy your career. I've got to have an environment where players want to compete. Compete on the field, compete in the classroom, and everywhere else. If you don't have that type of environment, it'll just be more of the same. And we definitely don't want more of the same. And so there's a lot of competition going on. There's a lot of young talent that's coming in. I think we only have 8 or 9 seniors on this year's team. That's how young we are. But that's okay. Because we went from Pampers, now we got the pull-up, so we know when to take them off and change. So again, it's an exciting opportunity for Virginia football because of the people. It's always about the people. It's about the mindset, because I know, we'll open it up for questions, and I'll let Coach Fairchild talk here in a bit as well. I hired the Navy SEALs to come in and talk to the team. And they came in and they spent 2 days with our guys. And one of the telling things that occurred is getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning was very, very telling, a.m. But But they took the guys and they put them through a series of physical, mental challenges that rocked them to the core. And this is what we got out of this. One day, one morning, early morning, they took the players to the pool. And so the guys thought they were going for, nice little dip in the pool and all that, but nope, you're right, absolutely not. So they got there and they started dividing them up. All right, you 7 right over there, you 7 right over here. Give me another 7 right there. So they got in the water and they're swimming around for a little bit, and all of a sudden, he said, all right, here we go. This is the task, this is the job. Your team has to go from the shallow end to the deep end, and everyone has to get there. Now, what happened immediately, were guys like Morgan Moses, who's 6'7", 350 pounds, and one biscuit, all right? So what happened with Morgan, the first thing Morgan said was, I can't swim. I can't get over there, I can't swim. And so the whole process of the SEALs was like, it's not about where you are right now. It's about where you want to go. It's not about just you individually, it's about the people that are on your team that make it happen to find a way to get you across to the other side. So after they all were given the instruction, you're going to get it all to the other side, you have to touch. Then they got together. Then they start talking to each other. Okay, all right, who's the best swimmer? All right, who's so swimming? So what they end up doing is Morgan got a chance to walk. Now he's 6'7", so he probably walked over. He could walk all the way across the pool if he really knew about it, but he walked as far as he could go. And then an okay swimmer got him and just kind of took him a little bit to the next guy. And the next guy that could swim a little better took him like this. Hang on, Morgan, I got you. Hang on, Morgan, I got you. He took him to the next guy, that guy that could swim even better. And so before you know it, what happened, Morgan, who said at the very beginning, I can't swim, and had to touch the other end of the pool, got across to the other end of the pool with one of the other players who was the best swimmer. When initially it was I can't swim, I can't do this, I can't do that. School's too hard, I can't make it here. To figure out a way, to find a way that you can make it happen, but it's just more, it's bigger than one person. It's about team. It's about teamwork. So that exercise was the exercise that got the players saying, you know what, coach? We have goals. We want to win games. And we want to beat those guys across the road up there. That's going to happen when they come to our house this year. But the thing is you can have goals, winning games and being all-state, all-Americans, first-round draft picks, but then you got to have standards. You got to say, these are the standards of what we're going to have. You got to lift. You have to run. You have to train. You have to go to class. You have to handle your business in the community. You have to be a part of community service. You have to do, these are the standards. And if you can't fit those standards, then the players say, coach, this guy's not one of us. And he ends up leaving. Now, you've seen a couple players that have left, and you'll see 1 or 2 more before this is over with, because the standards are too high for some individuals. But that's okay. Just like the schedule, just like the facilities, and just like the coaches. It's about progress. And that's what I'm more interested in, is about the progress of our young men. The best academics they've had in a long time, but the progress of making sure that we want to win football games. We want to play competitive. We want to be competitive. That's the bottom line, is to win games. But you can win games. You can do things the right way. You can recruit the right way. I was just talking a few minutes ago. We have a young man committed, and I'm reading on the, I don't read the message boards, thank goodness for that. But other schools have come in, and they know full well that he's committed to us, but they're giving their sales pitch. And maybe it's the state of where we are in this country, or the state of young men that like to be courted or recruited. But when you say yes, let your yes be yes and your no be no. And there are a couple young men that you'll be very proud of that are coming to this university, that are starting to come. When Trey Nicholson said yes and told Eli Harold to come, then Eli Harold can tell someone else to come. That's how you build it. That's how you build it. You build players, you build character. But we're not done. There's still a lot of work to do. Yes, Virginia is a very challenging school, but the profile of the student athlete there are the type of young men that when we walk across the stage like they did this past a few days ago here, make you very proud. I had 9 seniors that had honor cords that I gave to them on the Saturday before graduation. That was the proudest moment that I've had. That's what's important. Thank you. So, I know this is VAF Social and stuff like that, but trust me, I'm excited about the year. I'm ready to get started. I'm sorry I spit on you guys up here in the front like that because I'm frothing at the mouth. That's just the way it is. I'm sorry. Jessica, can you get a couple napkins and wipe them off right now? But the energy and the passion, I've never seen it as high. Being with the type of men and the players that are here that want to do it and want to play for you. We appreciate your support. Thank you, VAF. Thank you, everyone that supports the program, because it is very important. Now, I'm going to bring Steve up, and then we'll answer questions here a little bit. Steve Fairchild, our offensive coordinator, and let Steve tell a little bit about himself. And for all you want to know what kind of offense we're going to run, ask him.
Thank you very much. Thank you. First off, I want to say a couple things. Number one, thank you, each and every one of you out there, for your support of the University of Virginia, UVA athletics, UVA football. In today's world, Division I athletics, it ain't happening without people like you. There's no chance. And we know that in our jobs. And again, I can't tell you thanks enough for being a supporter of UVA. It's big time. I'm very, very proud to be on Coach London's staff. And I'm going into my 31st year of coaching. I've coached in the NFL. I've coached in college, small college, junior college. I've been a lot of different places. I've worked for a lot of different head coaches. And believe me, some do it right, some don't do it right. And this guy does it right. And at the end of the day, when you really look at why we're hired, what we're hired to do, you can cut it down to 2 things. There's no joke about it. We got to win football games, and we're going to do that. And the second thing is we are hired to prepare these young men that go through our program for the rest of their life after football, like Malcolm said, life after basketball. That's our job. And I know a lot of guys that do not take that seriously. Mike London does. Academics is as important as athletics in our staff meetings, and we're doing it the right way. And like I said, I'm proud to be a part of his staff. It's been a hectic spring for me. I didn't get hired until February. And it seemed like I was on board about a week and a half, and all of a sudden we were in spring football. And not only were we in spring football, we were in spring football with basically a brand new offensive staff. And so there was a lot of us getting to know each other and getting to know the players. And I think we had a very productive spring in that way. And I guess the bottom line is it doesn't matter what system I bring or what I've done or what I think I like this style of offense. You got to do what your players do. And you got to figure out what they do well and then start coaching that. Because if you ask guys to do something they can't do, it's a disaster, like we all know. So I think we've got a good handle on what we've got at every spot offensively. We'll continue. We're excited about it. We'll continue to mold it to what they do. And we're looking forward to a very successful season. We're excited, like Mike said, to get started. Right now, we are recruiting. This is a big recruiting month in Division I football. I was just over in Fredericksburg this morning, hitting a bunch of high schools over there. We're trying to get our finishing touches on our 2014 class that signs in February, and we're also doing 2015, 2016. I mean, there's a lot you can be finding out about sophomores and freshmen, those type of kids in high school. And I think we've got the staff that's going to put together a couple good recruiting classes here in a row and build something very, very special. Everywhere I go, I get asked about the quarterback. Whoever you want, we'll play. How's that?
Good job.
So we will name a starting quarterback. We'll name one quickly. But we had a very spirited competition through the spring. They'll compete. They're all good kids. They'll compete hard this summer. we'll let that go, and then when we get started again early August, we'll name a starter and get rolling. I assure you, whoever we name, they're all talented. We'll play well. We'll have a good quarterback, and we'll get going. So having said that, once again, thank you very much for all your support. It's a pleasure being here. I'm still learning my way around the state of Virginia. I get lost about every other day in Charlottesville, so I'm still trying to figure things out. But it was a beautiful drive over here, and like I said, just thank you very much.
Any questions? Any questions from anyone?
You should plug the women's football.
Okay, Phyllis, can you sit up here, please? Come up here, Phyllis. We have a women's football camp next Friday evening, and Phyllis is one of our annual attendees. And all right. And one of the things that we're going to do this Friday is we're going to teach the women how to tackle. All right. It's a camp design. We talk about where the referees are, the calls, strategies on offense and defense, plays, alignments, and the techniques. And well, why don't you tell them, Phyllis?
Well, the first year, I was really not well versed in football, and I'm going to say that out loud. But the neatest part was actually showing the drills, and then what the drills turned into in the plays, and then what the plays turned into in the game. I came home, and my husband will tell you, I wanted to watch football then. and I've been kind of rabid since then. I'm sorry, Mike, that I attacked you, but you know.
Sorry. Thank you. But this Friday, if you have an opportunity, 7 o'clock, I believe, and at the indoor, the new George Welsh indoor facility. So thank you, Phyllis. Any other questions? All right. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I'm attending this football camp for the first time. I know nothing about football, and we go to games, and you'll say, that's the that, and then, yeah, whatever. And so I'm looking forward to that. I just want to know, am I going to get hurt?
Denise, you can't come to a football camp and ask if you're going to get hurt. You can't ask that question. I tell you what, though, you'll learn a lot about football. You'll be able to go home and talk about 3 wides, what cover 2 means, what cover 3 means, down safeties. I know that's all foreign right now, but you'll learn it when you get there. And you'll have fun. You'll have fun. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Alluding to your recruit that has already said yes, everybody still wanting, would you be in favor of NCAA rule that when he says yes, he basically signs his letter of intent at that time?
That's an interesting question. We just left the ACC coaches meetings in Amelia Island, Florida, and I'm in favor of when a young man says yes, an early signing period, because basketball has an early signing period. Because if you don't, then school will keep on coming in, and it's just, you put the young man in a bad situation. But I am. So, but again, you know, as I said, for you guys to drive over the mountain, the team appreciates it. I appreciate you. And we just want to win football games for this group over here. And so we can all be proud. The tennis team has done a fantastic job. Coach O'Connor's done a fantastic job. I mean, there's a lot of people at Virginia do an outstanding job. And so we thank you for your support. And we'll see you at BYU. Thank you.
All right, so one last thing tonight, we're gonna do a door prize drawing. I'm gonna ask Malcolm to come and bring a 6'5"? Pick himself a raffle here. So the first thing we're drawing out is 2 tickets in the football suite and a signed football by Mike London. Oh, I lost one. I'm not even gonna read it. All right, so pull a name out of there, Malcolm. Charles Davis. Are you in the room, Charles Davis? Yay! You're very welcome. There you are. So Rick Landis, during the break, came over and said, can you say one more time that the men's tennis program just won a national championship? That's yet one more than Virginia Tech has. All right, so our next drawing is for baseball tickets of your choosing and a signed baseball poster. Yes. All right. Bill Bear. There you go. All right, guys, thank you again so much for coming. Thank you, Rick and Lori. Oh, 1 second. Malcolm.
And I also wanted to say thank you for everybody for supporting Virginia Athletics and all you do. So thank you.
Thanks, guys.